anyway, you want a chair that's roughly the height of your thigh. If not, stick a cushion on it, okay? Obviously if it's too high, your legs are up there, it doesn't matter too much as long as those legs are supported. So this is the position here, positional release position. So legs or the calves are sat on the top of the chair, so taking the weight completely. Your buttocks almost up to the legs. It's not, you don't have to push it right up. Right angle, and head on block or cushion. So allow yourself to sit comfortably. This position is the best position for your spine. It alleviates every single ounce of pressure off your lower back, okay? All right, so if you find that you're getting a little bit niggly, or if there's, you know, you're starting to get a little bit of sciatic pain, or the lower back is getting a little bit sore, then this is the position that you really need to be thinking about, okay? And you can lay here for as long as you like. I find I struggle to lay here for any length of time because I can't keep still for very long. But this position is the best position. Obviously, getting out of this position, having gone into this position, I'm just going to let someone in, you just take the legs off and you bring it round and you're into that position. So you're sort of almost rolling yourself off. Okay, I think that's Kit. All right, so positional release. Everybody all right with that? So if you find that you're struggling or lower back's hurting, Kit, I was just showing everybody the positional release. You don't need a chair. Don't panic, but you will need to go on the floor because we're going to do lower back today. So I was just showing everybody what the positional release position is. So if you have any lower back issues or any problems, this position here alleviates all the weight and all the force out of the spine, okay? And just laying here, you just need a TV on the screen now, and you can sit and watch the TV, but strictly on the ceiling. Get a projector, okay? So that's your positional release, okay? So any issues with lower back? But the idea of today's session, okay, let me just move my chair. The idea of today's session is to show you just some of the movements that you can do before you get out of bed, okay? So you could do these in bed. All right, so imagine you are still in bed if you want to be. You don't have to go to bed if you don't want to. Although Margaret is. Margaret's still in her pyjamas. Okay, so come down onto the floor for me. Or onto the bed. All right. Okay, so don't worry, it doesn't matter about where your legs are. You don't have to think about, we're not talking Pilates, we're not talking knuckles of the big toes together, anything. I'm just going to make my screen just a little bit bigger so I can see you all, because I like seeing you all. I miss you all. Right. Okay. So, knuckles of the big toes, not together. See, I'm so used to saying that for Pilates. All right, so just allow the feet. So this is crook position. I call this crook position. And you should say that quite regularly in a prison because they love it. And I can get away with it. So, all right. You need grab a cushion, or you can just use your pillow. So if you're in your bed, just use your pillow. Just allow the spine just to lengthen, and just take a few moments just to connect to the floor, to the bed, whatever it is you're laying on. All right. So feet are flat, so make sure the weight's fairly evenly distributed between your feet. So don't allow all the weight to go through the heels or through the toes. So we're not sort of in this position here at the moment. We will be doing some of those movements in a minute, but we're mobilising through all of the areas through the body. Okay, just take a few moments for here. So we're just going to sway, just a gentle sway. So using the hands to the side of the body, you can widen them if you prefer. Try and keep the shoulders. Now we do a lot of this in Pilates, and it's just that mobilisation. We're rotating the spine. Now if you find there's any niggles, if you find that there's any pain, I'm not saying work through it completely, but try and just see how far you can tire it. If obviously it gets to the point where you just can't take any more, if it's you know it's going to cause a little bit, and you know your body better than anyone else, okay? I have days where I can't do this because my back is just so sore. If I've been gardening, for example, like I was doing yesterday, I was breaking up wooden fences, and I just knew that this morning I was going to feel a bit stiff, so I wasn't sure how, well, I knew that this session was going to be a good session. So just make that movement just a little bit bigger. But you know how far to go, all right? So if you find, again, it just starts to hurt, or it's just a little bit too much, then just reduce the amount of movement, okay? And don't forget to breathe. Breathing's really, really important. So it doesn't matter how you breathe. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the mouth, out through the mouth. And just make that movement just that little bit bigger. Now try and keep those shoulders connected to the floor. Good. Now just take those knees over to one side. Now just allow them, you don't need to try and force the knees over. They're not touching, my knees are not touching the floor at the moment. They don't need to be forced. Just allow them just to sit in that position. Now as you're in that position, continue to breathe and they will start just to fall a little bit closer towards the mat. Some of you may already be there. But just allow them just to relax. So as you're breathing out, allow the muscles to relax and allow that movement to increase. And just create that nice stretch. You're going to feel that stretch all the way down through the side of the body here and into the lower back. Now if you want to increase that stretch slightly, turn the head and look in the opposite direction. Good. Bring the head back to centre and bring the knees up. Just sway the knees from side to side. Again, trying to keep the shoulders connected to the floor. Gentle, gentle move. Let's take those knees over to the other side. So again, as you take them over, they're not going to collapse straight away. Just allow that movement to almost, or allow everything just to soften as you continue to breathe. So the breath is almost controlling that move. Keep the opposite shoulder on the floor. Hands down by your sides or out into a T position. It depends on where you feel most comfortable. And just allow those knees just to soften. Good. A couple more breaths. And bring those knees. Sorry, I should have said turn your head if you needed to, but bring the head back to centre if you had turned it, and bring the knees back up to centre again. Okay, just place the hands just a little bit closer, but keep the elbows nice and soft, but they're relaxed, okay? We're not trying to force anything again. We're not trying to create that rib-pelvis connection as we would do in Pilates. It's all about the mobilisation today. So just bring that knee in towards the chest. Now, as you bring it in, allow the back to move, okay? So it might be that the pelvis starts to tilt towards you. It might be that the lower back presses in towards the floor. Just pull that knee in and send it down. And again, pull the other knee in and just pull it in a little bit closer, and then send it away. So you're almost pulsing it, but it's not a pulse as in really hard and fast. It's just a gentle movement. So pull the knee in and just pull it in towards the chest and send it away. Pull it in towards the chest and send it away. And again, the other side. Knee pulled in, pull that knee in towards the chest, and again, and send it down. Good. Let's just knee float. So we're going to speed the movement up a little bit more now. So just knee float, so lifting the knee above the hip, keeping the gap behind the back of the knee bigger than 45 degrees. It doesn't have to be any bigger than that. So 45 degrees at least behind the back of the knee. Good. Well done. And again, excellent. Hold that position here. Again, just sway the knees from side to side. You might feel this is a little bit looser now. It's a little bit looser. The movement might be slightly bigger now. Good. And bring it back to centre. Let's heel slide. Slide the leg and bring it back in. So don't worry too much about what the spine's doing. Allow the lower back to move in its position, whichever way it's going. Good. And again, slide it away. Relaxing the shoulders though. Try and keep the upper body nice and relaxed. Good. And again. And again. And send the leg away. Good. And hold it there. Just take those knees from side to side. Just drop them down. Now, does that go down just a little bit more now? You're finding that movement's a little bit bigger. Turn the head. I'm going to turn the head this way. I forget to turn it the other way. Good. So again, you're feeling that stretch. Some of you may feel it slightly more. I feel it right into the hips here. But you'll also feel it down through the lower back as well. Good. Bring those knees back up to centre. Just sway the knees from side to side, just allowing that back to loosen. So again, it's a very gentle move. We're in a position again, in this crook position, it's almost like a positional release. So it is reducing the pressure and the amount of force that's been applied through the spine. So obviously any disc issues, any any area where the discs have dehydrated and the spine is starting to sort of almost flatten the discs, okay, because there are no discs, the discs have almost dried up. Degenerative disc disease is what it's called. I don't know why disease is probably a bit of a strong word to use, but that's what they call it. And then that then causes, because of the dehydration of the discs, that then causes a little bit of facet joint syndrome, which is basically where the discs have decreased in size, the vertebra is they're almost touching one another now, and the edges of the vertebra tend to, when you're moving, tend to rub on each other, and that then calcifies and then causes a lot of pain, which again is something that I also suffer from. So bring those knees back up and send it from side to side. But discs can be rehydrated, and they're rehydrated through movement. Just that constant. Sometimes they have gone a little bit too far, but if you can catch them in time, you can rehydrate them to a degree. It just allows that, you know, the body gets used to that movement. It's pushing the fluids back into the joints. If you stop the joints from moving, if the joints stop moving, then you just haven't got, you know, the discs aren't being replenished, as it were. Okay. Now we're going to bring one leg in. Now grab hold of the knee and just pull that knee in towards the chest and slide the other leg away. So again, very, very similar exercises, very, very similar stretches that we do, and mobilisation exercises we do at the beginning of some of my Pilates classes. Now relax those shoulders. Now if that's too much for you, you could just bring the knee back. If you can't grab the knee, you can always grab a towel and place a towel just across the front of the shin and pull the leg in that way, okay? Hold that position here. Just pull it in a little bit tighter. That's going to stretch out that lower back. Good. Now slide the straight leg back in and slide that leg back down to the floor. Let's change sides. So bring the other knee in towards the chest. Hold that position here. Slide the other leg away. Good. Relaxing those shoulders. Pull that leg in just a little bit tighter if you can. Good. Slide that leg in and place that foot down. Good. Sway those knees again. A little bit bigger if you can. Send it all the way down. Good. We're getting bigger and bigger. So the more we're warming up, the more the spine. I'm not saying you have to spend this amount of time every morning doing this, but you could pick and choose some of the exercises that you feel you've got time to do. You don't have to spend quite so long on each of them. You can just speed them up slightly, but again, it's gentle. Start gentle and then obviously build it up from there. Good. Bring those knees in. Back to centre, sorry. Now pull the knees in towards the chest, both knees in. And nice big hug. This is stretching out through the buttocks and the lower back. And obviously the more you bring those knees in, the more you're lifting up the tailbone, the more you're stretching out the top of the buttocks, okay? And again, every time we sway the knees from side to side, you're also massaging the lower back as well. So you're actually, with the pressure, depends obviously, if you're on the bed it's a little bit more difficult because the bed's going to give way, but if you're on the floor it does create that little bit of massage, it creates that little bit of pressure against the muscle, which helps to allow better circulation. That's what massage really is, it allows better circulation, irons the muscle out, reduces the amount of knots, reduces the amount of tension. Good. Now lift the head and shoulders if you can towards those knees. Relax the shoulders. Pull it in just a little bit more. Good. Send the head and shoulders down towards the floor again and release the knees. Just allow them to release. Now place the hands onto the knees. Now keep the toes together. Again, something we've done before. You're going to pull the knees in and then you're going to widen the knees but keep the toes together and then circle them round. So you're actually pulling the knees in, you're sending the knees down and out to the side of the body almost. Just creates a bit more of a stretch, also helps with just opening up the hips, and then send the knees back. And again, pull the knees in and send it away. Good. Pull those knees in and send them away. Good. And again, pull the knees in and send them away. Let's reverse it. So we're going to send the knees wide first and then pull the knees in towards you. Send the knees wide and pull in. Good. Send the knees wide. And pull in. So those toes are still touching, the feet are still touching. Good. If they don't quite touch, it's fine, it's not a problem, but the idea is that we're opening up the hips. Last one. I think I've done too many of these. And again, pull those knees in towards the chest, lift the head and shoulders. That stretches out the whole of the spine. Relax those shoulders down. Good. Excellent. And send the head and shoulders back down towards the floor. Good. Take the feet down. Now cross an ankle over onto the opposite knee. Now this is going to just allow for a better stretch into the lower back. Okay? Better stretch into the lower back. So taking the hands out towards the side, we're going to just sway the knees from side to side. So as we've been doing a moment ago, again, this is another one we've done quite regularly in class. And we're going to send the foot down towards the floor. Now again, if this is too much, if you prefer, and again with any of the stretches, if you find that just taking this down, or if you find it's overstretching, or if it's creating a bit of pain, then grab a pillow or a couple of cushions and place it under the legs so they don't go down quite so much. Does that make sense? But you're still supported. You're not having to hold it there. You're not having to work the muscles in order to hold that position. Grab a couple of pillows, place it underneath the leg and just rest into the pillows. And that will take away a lot of the pressure, but at the same time you're going to still feel that stretch. And then obviously as you get used to that stretch, you can remove the cushions and allow the legs to lower a little bit more. But you're going to feel it down into the lower back, across the buttocks, okay? Relax those shoulders. Again, when it comes to holding some of these stretches, because we're quite cool and we haven't warmed up, I would say no more than about 20 seconds or so in each position. Bring those knees back up to centre. Obviously, if you've had a good warm up or if you've run around the block and you start stretching, then obviously you're going to have to hold, you will need to hold them a lot longer. So you're looking at least anywhere between 30 to a minute, even longer, okay? So, you know, because it's fairly early on, we're not holding these, we're not trying to lengthen the muscles. We're not trying to create, you know, we're not trying to make them longer than they should be. We are literally trying to get them back to where they should be. You've been laying down. Some of you, it depends on your position, your positions within the bed. There's a lot of controversy over positions in bed. If you're going to lay on your back, lay in your positional release. So grab a couple of pillows and place the legs up on a couple of pillows, as I showed you at the beginning of the class. Good. Hold that position there. Brilliant. And bring those knees back to centre. Change legs. Did I tell you to take it over to the other side? I'm not sure if I did. Did I tell you to take it over? Give me a thumbs up if I did. Right, that's good. Okay. So again, just crossing the opposite ankle over onto the knee. Just sway the knees from side to side. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to take that foot down towards the floor. Drop that foot down. Good. And again, feel that stretch. Some of you may find that one side is slightly tighter than another side. I've forgotten what I was saying. Yeah, stretching. Important when you think about stretching that there is no pain, okay? I say pain, there is different levels of pain. If you find the muscles, is, what's the word? Shaky, that's the word. Or if you find it is painful, then you need to release the stretch, okay? Reduce the movement. Bring those legs back up to centre and then send the knee over to the other side this time. This is what we should have done the other side. I'm hoping that you all did that. So we're just crossing that knee over onto that, crossing the ankle over onto that knee, and you're trying to pull that leg down. That's going to create a little bit more of a stretch down through the top of the thigh as well. But you will still feel it through the lower back, so that rotation through the lower back here as well. So yeah, so when it comes to stretching, make sure there is no pain. If you find it is starting to get painful, then reduce the amount of movement, reduce the range of movement. and take it back to a position where you feel a little bit of discomfort, so you can feel the muscles actually stretching. Don't forget to breathe into these stretches, relax the upper body. Good. Okay, bring those knees back up to centre. Uncross the legs and sway those knees from side to side. Now I'm hoping that things are a little bit easier now and you're finding that's a little bit better for you to do. Okay, we're just going to go through the movements again. We're going to bring one knee in and send it down. Bring the other knee in and send it down. We're going to do 2 more of those. Knee in and down. So knee floats and in. And again, we're going to slide one heel, stretch it away and bring it in. And again, stretch the leg away and bring it in. And again, stretch and in. Stretch and in. We're going to pull one knee in towards the chest and we're going to slide one leg away. Hold that position here. Don't worry about the position. I know normally I'd say make sure your toes are in the right position, legs are in the right position. We are thinking about that stretch. Good. We're thinking about that mobilisation, allowing the muscles to move, joints, tendons and the ligaments. Good. Fold that leg back in and send the leg you were holding back to the floor. Let's swap sides. So bring that knee in towards the chest. Send the opposite leg away. Good. Relax the shoulders. Now another very important muscle when it comes to the lower back is the Quadratus Lumborum. And this is a muscle that this is the one that helps you to twist and bend down. So when you bend down to pick something up and you say your back goes, it's usually fibres within the Quadratus Lumborum that tend to create the pain. So bring that knee back into centre, place that foot down. Good, just sway the knees from side to side. We're going to sit up in a minute. Okay, so you can sit up any way you like. You can roll up, you can send the knees over to one side and roll up this way. There's one position, okay. Or you can roll onto your side, onto your backs, place the hands behind the lower back here and press yourselves up into seated. So we're going to come around into seated position, cross the legs, or if you want to, you can just sit with, if you're on the bed, just sit with the legs hanging off the bed. If you're on a chair, sit on a chair. But if you're on the floor, cross the legs for me. Okay, so we're just going to place the hand down. So we're going to stretch that Quadratus Lumborum a little bit more. You can straighten the legs if you prefer. Okay, it's entirely up to you. We're going to place one hand on the floor here. So not only are we stretching, we're going to be stretching out the rib cage, but we're going to be just taking it a little bit further, and we're going to be and when I say the Quadratus Lumborum, it's the muscle that goes from the lowest rib, okay, which goes from here, the lowest rib from here, into the top of the sacrum, okay? All right, the top of the pelvis here, all right, sort of into this area here, to the sacrum. So, and this is a really good one, and I will post a picture. I will put a stretch onto the WhatsApp group just to show you exactly what muscle it is and where it is within the body. I will show you. So placing one hand on the floor, we're going to lift one arm up. Now because we've stretched and we've mobilised everything, this is not so bad now. So we're going to just lean over to one side. Relax the shoulders, so pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then from here, you're going to drop that shoulder down. So you're actually looking to the side and forwards, okay? So that hand, you're reaching that hand forward. Now, the more you reach that hand forwards, the more you're going to be stretching, obviously, the rib cage, but it's going to help to stretch out that side of the body. But make sure you keep the sit bones fixed to the floor. Don't lift the legs or the hips, the buttocks up. So we're holding that position here. Relax the shoulders. Now spin the rib cage back round to centre and bring it up. Take it over to the other side. So we're lifting up. Take it over, just drop this supporting elbow down slightly and then just spin the rib cage forwards and feel that stretch again through that lower back. Good. We're going to repeat that again on the other side. So again, spin the rib cage open again and send it over. Just lower that elbow down. And then drop that shoulder forwards, keeping those sit bones on the floor. Good. Open up that rib cage and send it over to the other side. Good. And allow that shoulder to drop down, looking down towards the hand that's supporting you, keeping the sit bones and the legs nice and still. Good. Open up the rib cage and send the hand down. Grab hold of the knees and just allow the body just to forward fold. Now if you want to put a cushion in front of you just to lean upon, you can, okay? So if you don't like to come all the way down, if you find that's too much, you can use your hands to support you. But the idea is that we're just allowing that lower back to lengthen, dropping that chin down towards the chest, relaxing those shoulders. Good. Placing the hands on the floor or on the legs, allow the spine just to lengthen, just lifting up nice and slowly. Good. And take a nice deep breath in here and out. And you should be ready to go to work. So hopefully it just gives you a few ideas just to, you know, just to set you up in the morning, just to get you, I don't know, just a little bit more mobile, especially if you've had a long day. And you don't have to do it first thing in the morning, you can do it last thing at night before you go to bed. You know, get in from a hard day's work, just in front of the telly, just lay on the floor or place the legs on the back of a chair and just allow the spine just to relax and release, okay? It is about releasing the spine. It's got so tense, it's so tight, especially when you're sat in a chair and you're sat there and you haven't got that support and you're sat there like that, the legs out and the legs crossed and everything else. It's really going to create, and that is what caused my back issues. It's postural, completely postural. I know it was a bit weak in the first place because I have got sort of a history of spinal problems in my family, and I had a history, but I've got a bit of scoliosis as well, and an ever so slight amount of scoliosis.